Welcome back to the World Cup formula. If you grew up getting your scalp greased every week, this one is for you. Today, we are recreating this childhood classic using natural ingredients sourced from countries competing in this year's World Cup. We are kicking things off in Germany with olus oil, followed by veg-lanolin and sunflower lecithin. Germany has become one of my favorite places to source natural cosmetic ingredients, so it only felt right for them to start today's World Cup formula series. You might be wondering why I started this formula with olus oil instead of petroleum. The answer is simple. I wanted to create a more modern version of hair grease using natural ingredients. Olus oil is actually a blend of vegetable oils, so instead of relying on petroleum to create that smooth, protective feel, I'm using plant-based oils as the foundation of this formula. Since the purpose of hair grease is to help slow down moisture loss, I wanted a base that would still create that protective layer while fitting the natural direction of this formula. And that's one of the things I enjoy most about formulating. You don't have to copy a traditional formula ingredient for ingredient. Once you understand what each ingredient is doing, you can start choosing alternatives that achieve a similar purpose or even the same, while creating a product that's unique to your own formulations. Every day, new natural alternatives are emerging in the natural and organic hair care formulation industry, making it easier than ever to recreate your favorite hair products that are often packed with synthetic or less desirable ingredients using natural and plant-based alternatives. And that's exactly what we are doing in this World Cup formula series, taking classic products we all recognize and recreating them with ingredients sourced from countries competing in the World Cup 2026. Now I'm adding the herbal hair oil we made in the last week's World Cup formula series. I love that each formula builds on the last one, almost like a team progressing through the tournament. Now we're heading south into Africa for our next ingredient, shea butter from Ghana. For generations, shea butter has been one of Africa's most iconic natural ingredients, so it definitely deserves a place in today's formula. From West Africa, we are traveling across the Atlantic Ocean to Brazil for babaçu oil. Babaçu is naturally rich in lauric acid, just like coconut oil. Because of its content, it can absorb easily into the hair and scalp, making it feel like it really disappears into the strand rather than just sitting on top. That's why it's often used in hot oil treatments. We won't be staying in South America for long because we are crossing the Atlantic once again and heading to North Africa, where Morocco is sending us one of the world's most famous beauty ingredients. Can you guess? Argan oil. Now we are making our way back into Europe, returning to Germany for hemp oil. Our final ingredient before moving to the melting process keep us in Europe as we cross over to England for beeswax. This is the ingredient that transforms all these beautiful oils into a more hardened product, turning all these ingredients into a proper hair grease consistency rather than a loose oil blend. Now everything goes into a water bath to melt together. Growing up, hair grease was a staple in so many households. There will always seem to be a tin sitting somewhere, and for many of us, getting our hair greased was simply part of the weekly routine. But here's something that surprised a lot of people. Hair grease is not actually there to moisturize your hair. Its main job is to slow down the loss of moisture that's already in your hair. Think of it like putting a lid on a pot. It helps lock in the moisture that's already there. And speaking of heat, unlike the UK weather lately, your water bath doesn't need to be extreme. Don't let it boil like I did unless you're trying to recreate this week's heat wave in your kitchen. A gentle simmer is all you need to melt everything together while protecting your ingredients. Once everything has melted into one smooth mixture, let it cool down before adding the final ingredients, which are the heat sensitive ingredients. You can stir it occasionally. Now I'm adding the antioxidant ingredient, which is vitamin E oil. We leave in Europe once again behind, making one final journey all the way to Australia for tea tree essential oil. And just like that, our petroleum and mineral oil free hair grease is finished. It's amazing how one jar can bring together ingredients from Germany, Ghana, Brazil, Morocco, England, and Australia. That's what I love about formulation. It has a way of connecting the world through ingredients. Now tell me in the comments, did you grow up using hair grease? And what brands instantly brings back childhood memories? Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.